The Galactic Federation's most elite warriors stood in perfect formation, their chitinous exoskeletons gleaming under the artificial lights of the observation deck. Captain Krell, commander of the 7th Vanguard, clicked his mandibles nervously as the human transport ship docked at the training facility. This would be the first time his squadron would observe the newest members of the Federation, the humans, during what they called basic training. Remember, Krell addressed his unit. These creatures evolved on a Class 12 death world. Their physical capabilities may seem unsettling, but they are allies now. Lieutenant Vix, Krell's second-in-command, fluttered her membranous wings in agitation. I've studied their planetary conditions, Captain. The gravity alone would crush most species, and their atmospheric composition, pure toxin to half the Federation races. The airlock hissed open. A human officer stepped through, standing barely taller than the average Vrix warrior, but somehow occupying more space through sheer presence. His name badge read Rodriguez. "Welcome to Camp Thunder, gentle beings," Rodriguez said with a disarming smile that exposed far too many teeth. "We're honored to have the Federation's finest observing our newest recruits. They're just finishing their morning routine." Krell and his 20 warriors followed the human through a series of corridors until they reached a massive transparent barrier overlooking an outdoor training ground. What they saw made their various alien physiologies go cold with primal fear. Hundreds of humans, male and female alike, crawled through thick mud under razor wire as artificial lightning cracked overhead and simulated artillery fire shook the ground. Others scaled sheer walls with minimal equipment, while some engaged in brutal hand-to-hand combat that would have killed most sentient species. "This is basic training?" Vix whispered, her compound eyes dilating in shock. Rodriguez nodded casually. "Just the morning PT segment. Pretty standard stuff. They'll move on to the harder exercises after lunch." A particularly loud explosion drew their attention to a section where humans were jumping through flaming hoops while carrying what appeared to be wounded comrades. Warrior Taz, a veteran of 3 interstellar conflicts, swayed slightly. "Those are untested recruits, not special forces?" "Oh no," Rodriguez laughed. "These kids are fresh civilians. Most have never seen combat. The special forces training would probably violate several Federation ethics treaties." The alien warriors exchanged glances of pure horror. On the field, a drill instructor screamed at a recruit who had collapsed. Instead of providing medical assistance, the fallen human was ordered to perform additional exercises. To the alien's astonishment, the recruit complied, muscles trembling, the face set with determination. "Your species considers this appropriate for beginners?" Krell managed to ask, trying to maintain diplomatic composure. "Well, it's been toned down over the centuries," Rodriguez explained. "Used to be much tougher, but we found this level provides an adequate foundation while minimizing serious injuries." The word serious hung in the air like a threat. A new group of recruits appeared, carrying massive logs on their shoulders as they ran through a swamp. Their uniforms were soaked with sweat, a bodily function that several of the observing aliens found viscerally disturbing. "How do they survive this?" Warrior Pell asked, genuine concern in his voice. Rodriguez smiled again. "Humans are remarkably adaptable. Their bodies actually grow stronger under stress. The more you push them, the more resilient they become." A sudden commotion drew attention to the combat ring. A recruit had suffered what appeared to be a significant facial injury, blood streaming from his nose. The alien warriors expected the exercise to stop. Instead, the instructor threw the young man back into the fight. "Should we offer medical assistance?" Krell suggested urgently. Rodriguez shook his head. "Just a broken nose. Part of the learning process." "Learning what exactly?" Vix couldn't contain her horror. "That pain is temporary. That their limits are mostly psychological. That they can endure far more than they believe possible." Rodriguez's voice carried a note of pride. "When these recruits complete their training, they'll be ready for whatever the universe throws at them." As if on cue, a klaxon sounded, and the recruits immediately formed perfect lines, despite their exhaustion and injuries. The transformation from chaotic suffering to disciplined military unit occurred in seconds. "Impressive response time," Krell admitted reluctantly. "And this is merely physical conditioning," Rodriguez continued. We haven't even begun to show you their tactical training, zero-G operations, or survival exercises. Warrior Taz's exoskeleton had taken on a distinctly paler hue. There's more, of course. Basic training lasts 12 Earth weeks. This is just day 15. The implications settled over the alien delegation like a shroud. These humans, these Deathworlders, considered such hellish conditions merely basic. What then did they consider advanced? What horrors awaited those who threatened what humans held dear? As the delegation prepared to continue their tour, Krell received an urgent communication from Federation Command. He excused himself momentarily to review it. The message was brief. The Scourge fleet has breached Sector 7. All available units deploy immediately. The Scourge, a mindless, consuming horde that had devoured 3 star systems already. Krell's warriors were elite, but even they feared the Scourge. He returned to Rodriguez, mandibles tight with tension. We must return to our ship. The Scourge has attacked the Veva colony. Rodriguez's expression shifted instantly from affable guide to warrior. The Veva colony has human settlements. Yes, Krell confirmed. But this enemy... I understand. Rodriguez interrupted, activating his comm unit. Commander Taylor, sir. The Scourge has attacked Vega. Request permission to deploy the 501st Training Battalion. Krell's antennae twitched in alarm. You would send trainees into battle? Rodriguez's eyes, those flat, predatory human eyes, locked onto Krell's. Captain, what you just witnessed wasn't preparation for military service. It was preparation for war. As the alien warriors boarded their vessel, they cast one final glance at the mud-covered humans below. For the first time, they didn't see primitive Deathworlders struggling through barbaric rituals. They saw the most terrifying allies the galaxy had ever known. Yet the Scourge would learn why.